Man, don't we all just love some King of the Hill? I mean, this was that show that when it came on, I always stopped what I was doing and watched. Some of the comedy in this show is top notch, but today we're not gonna be laughing that much. King of the Hill gets dark. This episode is crazy, and in today's video, we're gonna be breaking it down. So this episode, Bill, Bulk, and the Body Buddies kicks off with Bill cutting his hair in the military barbershop when one of the generals walks in and puts up a sign stating that there will be physical examinations coming up soon, and barbers were first on the list. Now, as we all know, Bill is very unhealthy. I mean, for Christ's sake, the man's last physical was 4 years ago. So as we see here, Bill is taking his physical when it just becomes too much for his body to handle. But surprisingly, he lucks up because these two bonehead examinators forgot to reset the treadmill, so they couldn't accurately grade his performance. So then we have all the guys sitting in their favorite place drinking some ice cold beers when Boomhauer recommends that Bill see a physician about an exercise program because he has another physical in 6 weeks. Bill sees the physician, who then recommends that he work out at home. So all the guys go in on the setup for Bill to work out at home, and things seem to be going great. That is, until Bill stops at a nutrition store in the mall while jogging. This is when Bill runs into this douchebag who never grew out of his starter quarterback phase in high school. This loser then asks Bill if he's looking to get jacked, which Bill replies that he's only looking for vitamins. This loser then starts flexing his muscles and convinces easygoing Bill to invite him back to his home gym. Now, if you have seen this episode before, then you know this would turn out to be a huge mistake for Bill. So then we have this scene.
Hey Bill, this is Gorilla and Coach. Let's blast some delts. Gorilla in the house. Oh, great. Tea party's over.
He shows up at Bill's home gym with his two overly aggressive friends who just barge in and completely take over, and one of them even hits on Luann. So then it's the nighttime when Hank decides to come over. He then immediately gets uncomfortable because he sees the new friends Bill had made. Hank asks Bill if he wants to come over to do some cardio when this loser, I'm not calling him by his name is Loser, insults Hank about wanting to do cardio. They then all get into this sus workout line formation when Hank was like, you know what, I'ma bounce. So Hank is having dinner with his family when Bobby says the funniest shit.
I don't like being around those scary weightlifter guys. They talk and yelling.
Yeah, and they look like they're filled with bowling balls.
Bruh, hell no. Anyways, they all pretty much have a mutual agreement that they don't like Bill's new friends, but Hank decides that they will have to deal with them because they at least have Bill getting healthier. So they all decide to just work around their ignorance. This continues for a few weeks and Bill actually gets freaking ripped, and this completely changed his personality. He becomes a straight lunatic and starts to abuse his power. I mean, we all know how easily influenced Bill is. Just look at these guys. So Hank comes over to tell Bill how nobody felt comfortable using the gym anymore because of the new friends Bill had made, when Bill completely humiliates Hank just to please his new friends.
I'll tell you what, why don't you Smurfs start your own gym across the way? These look about your size.
Bill, you are a complete asshole for this. So then this episode starts to get really dark. While exercising, Bill overestimates his strength and injures himself very badly. He is then stuck and literally can't move his body. He stays this way all day when his new friends show up and find him hurt. Bill tells them that he's hurt and needs to see a doctor, but they completely ignore this and become fascinated with the fact that Bill got hurt while exercising. This is when things take a dark turn when they literally force Bill back under the weights and make him exercise even with the injuries that he had already. Bill wants to call out to Hank for help, but unfortunately he is just too weak and is forced back under. Keep in mind, while this is going on, the guys have no idea about any of this. They think Bill is still perfectly fine. So it's later that night and they drag Bill back into his garage and leave him there while they go inside his house. He He then turns on the loud rock music, which he claims was for motivation, but that was obviously so if Bill screamed, nobody would hear him. Bill starts to scream for help when he sees a phone on the ground. He knows this might be his only chance to escape, so he goes for the phone, gets it, and calls Hank. He tries to ask for help, but the music is so loud, Hank can't really hear Bill well enough to know he's calling for help, so Hank hangs up. Bill is then left like this all night. When the next morning, the guys wake up right after Bill turns the music off. He is then dragged back once more for another day of pain. Now today was Bill's physical day, so Hank goes over to remind him. When Hank notices off rip, he wasn't doing good and was being held against his will.
Bill, did you forget you have your physical today?
Bill hasn't passed our physical yet, and that's the only one that matters, right, Diesel?
Now, Hank made a very smart decision not to blow his cover, knowing in that very moment because they could have easily overpowered him and forced him into the same fate as Bill. He calmly turns around and walks away. He then goes over to the guys to let them know he's worried about Bill and that he believes he is hurt and being held against his will. So the guys come up with a plan to distract all three boneheads while they rescue Bill. Which I should add, it wasn't too hard. I mean, because they were literally too busy jerking themselves off to notice the guys grabbing Bill. So Bill gets to the doctor and is now on the road to recovery. Now you would think more happens in this episode, but it literally doesn't. Bill recovers and we never hear from those three losers ever again. This episode of King of the Hill was dark, and I want you guys to tell me what you think about this episode in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and until next time.